Hey everyone, this is Black6 from BZPower back here for another set review. This time we've got another Disney set, except this time it's from the Star Wars line. This is one of the Star Wars buildable figures, constraction figures, ultra builds, whatever you want to call them. LEGO has a few terms they've used in the past. This is Clone Commander Cody from the Clone Wars. So this looks like he is wearing Phase 1 era armor, so from fairly early on in the series. So this set, I guess we'll back up a little bit. So the set will retail for 20 bucks and contains 82 pieces. Set number is 75108. Not sure the exact release date on this. LEGO was kind enough to send these to us early. You'll probably be watching this video when we release it on September 4th, so that may be the official release date. I know LEGO or Disney is doing a big reveal on Force Friday for a bunch of the Star Wars Force Awakens merchandise. This obviously does not directly tie into Episode 7, but may be part of that. So anyway, let's take a closer look at the box. Obviously, Commander Cody is taking up most of it. We see an interesting little logo there to indicate the buildable figures, of course Disney. In the background we can see some clone troopers and yeah, I don't remember what that vehicle is called. Clone turbo tank maybe, something. No, the turbo tank has wheels. Yeah, I forget. I'm not too up to date on my Clone Wars, even though I have been watching the TV series, catching up a little bit on that. We've got some gunships up there, and of course the Star Wars and LEGO logos. This is ages 7 to 12, but we're going to ignore that for now. Definitely liking the look of this, since it does not, the character does not have a face like Obi-Wan or Luke. Definitely lends it a little better to the constructible action figures. But we'll save those for the other reviews. On the top, we've got a 1-to-1 scale of Commander Cody's head. On the back, we've got another view of him without the fancy background, kind of showing off some of the features. He's got a communications backpack. He's got a big gun. Along the bottom, we can see the other sets coming out in the buildable figures. So we've got Luke, we've got Vader, General Grievous, Obi-Wan, and Jango Fett. And of course, they've already revealed a First Order Stormtrooper that will tie in with the Episode 7 release, but that won't be available till next year. Also here, we see that this set stands 23.5 centimeters tall. So that is, about 9 inches, 8 to 9 inches or so, if my on-the-fly calculations are correct. Anyway, enough of the outside of the box. Let's pop this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so we have got the instruction manual, same artwork as the front. You can win. Let's see, looking pretty basic. For an instruction manual here, as far as CCBS let's go. We've got the inventory here on the back. Then after that, we've got an ad for the other figures, or actually all 6 of them. And then we've got an ad for some more of the Star Wars sets that come out this summer. And then another ad for the buildable figures showing Obi-Wan and Grievous. We have got 2 bags of parts and a loose torso. So now let's take a closer look at those. So we have got 2 bags of parts, which I will title the boring bag and the exciting bag. Starting with the boring bag, this is pretty much just all Technic bits, axles and pins and things like that. The pieces that stood out to me are the Technic pin spacer in dark gray. I get a couple of those. We actually get 2 of the epées or foils from originally from the Fencer minifigure, collectible minifig, used as the antenna here. And we also get a single black Borak eye. I feel like this is probably one of the longest running pieces that came out of Bionicle and has been used pretty much everywhere in every many themes since then. But aside from that, nothing else too exciting here. Moving on to the new bag, we see lots and lots of goodness here, so we'll take a look at each of these pieces in turn. First off, we have got Clone Commander Cody's head. Nicely printed. This comes in a separate baggie inside the larger bag. No real connection points on here as you're seeing on the outside. Although, you know, some of you will take it as a challenge and you'll find ways to attach things to it. Underneath, we do have a lone ball joint or socket joint for a ball to pop in there. And pretty basic. I think it definitely captures the look of the Phase 1 Trooper pretty well. And then, to go along with that, we have got the armor. So this is, I believe, a new armor mold with some custom printing. Definitely looks battle damaged, has the clone trooper kind of design going on, but you can see that it can clearly be repurposed to a bunch of different things. So we've got some blast marks on there, we've got some rank insignia, you know, some decent printing on there. No stickers in this set at all, so that's nice to see. On the back, there is just a single socket on there. No other connection points on this. Slightly disappointing, especially when we had those Hero Factory torso shells a couple years ago that had the bars for clips on it. That was really nice. Next up, we have got the new leg armor piece. You know, very nice profile there. Definitely captures the look of the Stormtrooper or Clone Trooper. On the back, we just have a single socket. So there's no pinholes or anything to attach anything else on, which is kind of a shame, but at the same time you have this really smooth, sleek look that I know people are going to want a lot of. Then we've got the new pauldron piece. It reminds me a little bit almost of the heads from the Toa and Nika. This is just a bright orange, very curved. It's got two pin or bars on the back, so it can attach to one of the armor pieces. Probably limited to the pieces. So this is a size 4 white shell. It cannot attach this way. It can only attach the other way going over the top. So that's interesting. We do have, so this set does have the shells in 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the full gamut here. So I want to see if on the 3 shell, so on the 3 shell you can attach it this way. So you can go either way on the 3 shell. But on anything bigger than that, you can only have it going over the top. So like on the 6, for instance, it can only go over the top like that. And then last but not least, I'm not sure if these are, how new these are. I think they're fairly new. Probably not for this set, but we've got a couple Technic panels in white. They're pretty small ones. These are size 2 panels. Actually, sorry, 21 and 22 are the numbers on the inside. We get a matching set here. Aside from that, I showed you got the full connection or full wave of the white shells in 3, 4, 5, and 6. As far as the bone pieces, we've got a decent variety here. So we've got the smallest of this type of bone in black. We've got the next size up in dark gray. You can tell it's got the 1 pinhole on it. Then we've got the next size up from that in black with 2 pinholes, and I believe we get 2 of each of those. And then we have this type, one of the larger varieties of this type with the 2 pinholes. And then we get the large torso. It's not the largest torso, but one of the larger ones, large enough that has the balls on the shoulders. And then to round things out, we have the white General Hero Factory feet and the 4-fingered hand piece. All right, so I think that goes into enough detail on the pieces. Hopefully give you a good look at the new elements in this set. But now let's get building. And here we've got the completed clone Commander Cody in all of his clone trooper glory. So we can see he's got his repeating blaster rifle here. One of the kind of complaints I have right off the bat with the rifle is that they use the red Technic 2-length axles. So we'll pop this out of his hands real quick so we can take a closer look. Not a lot to it, basic Technic construction. But, you know, in some of the other parts of the construction of Cody, they use, you know, like the gray half bushings instead of the yellow ones. So I'm not sure why they couldn't have used a black Technic axle there. That would have, I think, helped with the color scheme on this a lot. But enough of that. What we really care about is the figure. So one thing I missed is that one of the 6 shells is printed. I somehow kept picking up the non-printed one when I was looking at the pieces. So it's got an orange stripe with some more battle damage on there. No printing on the sides. That snaps right in. So I think from the front, Cody looks pretty good. He's kind of got a very solid look going on. You know, every bone is covered with at least, you know, at least one armor piece. You know, so pretty fair, standard kind of constraction build. On the back, things don't look quite so good. So apparently, despite some of the advances we saw in the Bionicle sets this year, LEGO has not entirely learned from their lesson. The backs of his legs are very bare, and for a $20 set, that seems quite a bit disappointing, and it looks really bad. The top half fares a lot better, so he's got some armor pieces on the back of his shoulders to help fill in there, and then another one down below to kind of help cover up, although there's still definitely, you know, these gaps in the torso. He's got this little communications backpack, which is nice. That will pop off a little, maybe. No, I'm probably breaking it when I do that. But it's got the little communications antenna, which can move around a little bit. Not a bad little feature. Here's the gray half bushings I mentioned before, as opposed to the yellow ones, which would have been very jarring. But again, with the red axles showing, that really kind of detract from the color scheme. So yeah, from the side, he looks pretty good there. Move the arm out of the way. He even doesn't look too bad because of that piece. Of course, there is still a big hole in there. You know, good range of articulation, although I'm not sure why they used this type of piece on the upper arms as opposed to, you know, this type with the different connector point, because it does kind of result in his forearm not having some as great articulation. You can, of course, bend it like this, and then he can bend his elbow more. But then, of course, from the front perspective, you have you know, the ball joint showing like that. But, you know, up to personal taste, at least you do have the option to give him some more posability. I think the new pauldrons look great. They cover the shoulder really well and help hide the ball joint. The new leg pieces look really nice. Interestingly enough, he uses the friction pins or friction connectors on the feet as opposed to the hips. But I think the new armor pieces look really nice. They cover the ball joint pretty well. You know, it still has good range of motion in there. You know, hips have normal range of motion. The ankles are a bit harder to pose because they have the friction connector. I guess one other thing I missed is that they do use a 3-length Technic beam on the feet to help cover up that gap. It makes it look a little more full there. So, you know, they definitely did try to do some things to help out with the keeping it from being too empty looking. But, you know, there's still some work that could have been done. But, you know, you have a good range of motion, lots of posability. I think he captures the look of Commander Cody pretty well, at least from what I've seen in the Clone Wars TV series. You know, so he's kind of ready to take on General Grievous and the droid army. I think he looks pretty nice. So if you're a fan of the Clone Wars, you know, General Grievous is probably going to be the set you want to get, but that has a much higher price point. I believe it's $35 or $40, though I don't have those prices in front of me. You can get Commander Cody here for only $20. Contains, like I said, I believe 82 pieces, some nice new ones, especially, you know, the new orange pauldrons and the new shin armor. Definitely nice pieces. The chest and head, much less useful since they are printed in the way they are. harder to use on your own creations, but I'll let you guys take that as a challenge and come up with new and interesting ways to use them. You do get quite a few white shells in here. In addition to the new pieces, you get the white feet, one 6 shell, I believe you get 3 4-length ones, 2 3s, and 2 5s. So good variety there. So in a good selection of normal bone pieces. So if you do get tired of Cody, you can always break them apart and have some good pieces to add to your collection. Also quite a few different Technic odds and ends in the gun and in the backpack to help add to your Technic collection. So a good variety. You know, I think this comes down to how much you like the character or how much you want some white pieces to add to your CCBS collection. I think the value is definitely there if you're interested in the pieces or the character. It's not a bad design. The gaps on the back of the legs do detract a little bit, but you know, I think you can pose it in a manner that won't be too noticeable. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this review. We're going to have reviews of the entire fall wave of Constraction Star Wars figures. So Cody, Grievous, Obi-Wan, Luke, Vader, and Jango Fett. We'll have them all coming up on BZPower. So make sure you subscribe to our channel so you can get all those videos as soon as we post them. You can also check out the full review for this and the other sets on BZPower, where we will have you know, high-res pictures and our detailed thoughts written up on the set and what we think of it. And while you're over there, make sure you check out the rest of BZPower. You know, join the discussion boards, check out the games that are going on, share your creations, talk about the Star Wars Constraction sets, talk about Bionicle, Ninjago, whatever theme fits your fancy. There's a spot for you on BZPower, and we would love to have you. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up. Keep checking back on our YouTube channel for more Star Wars Constraction videos, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks, guys.